Please welcome to the stage writer-director Daniel Drummond.
Hi guys, thank you for coming.
So as always, you can tweet your questions if you like, hashtag SBFF. Remember, you asked the questions, Daniel will answer them. Do we have any questions? Yes, ma'am. So the comment was about how it ends with her giving Ramirez basically the keys and everything else, and the expression on her face. Can you comment on that?
Well, yeah, when you have good actors, your work as a director is really easy. So all that goes to the actor. All credit for that goes to the actor.
Yes, ma'am. So what was the inspiration for the story?
It actually came up from an article that I read once a long time ago, and I don't recall what was the source, but it was an article about an actual inspector from OSHA, or the Department of Labor, and he was talking about certain of these factories that he visited where he could tell that there were clear violations, but he could also tell that if he had closed them down, that would have cost the job and the living of a lot of the workers there. So it was him talking about whether he was willing to risk his job, if he was willing to risk his own job to allow these workers to keep theirs. And that's how the story was originally. It was about the inspector who goes there, but it kind of morphed because it turned out that it was very difficult in a 15-minute short film to convey that this inspector would be willing to risk his livelihood for these people that he'd never met before. So from that point on, we decided, well, that if we want to make a movie about the stakes and the feeling of responsibility, why not make a movie about the person that is responsible for these workers, who also has the sort of dubious gray area where she is kind of exploiting them, but at the same time protecting their interests. And that's kind of the whole thing came about.
Another question. Yes, ma'am. Great question. Great question. So what led to the choice of it being a female as the foreman?
The fact that I had the best actor that I auditioned was a woman. I remember reading a long time ago, I don't know if this is true, this kind of sounds one of those modern movie urban myths, but supposedly the movie Alien, Ridley Scott Aliens, they didn't actually describe the gender of the characters in the script. That's why they always refer to Sigourney Weaver's character as Ripley. They only gave them a surname, so during casting, they would be open to casting a man or a woman, which I always thought was a very interesting and clever thing. So when it came time to do this, I just figured, well, let's just audition a bunch of people, regardless of gender. And we saw about 60 actors came in to read, but Piercy, she just blew everyone else out of the water. It wasn't even a competition. And then the movie acquired a different layer. Then it definitely became about certain dynamics that we don't, it's kind of been talked about a lot now, but they were not necessarily the focus of the conversation when I started writing this, saying it was before the election. Yeah, and then I think it brought the whole movie up because it automatically, when you have a woman working in this sort of ultra macho environment, you automatically get a certain feeling of oppression. I mean, just the way that Ramirez kind of leans like over the table to talk to her, trying to intimidate her. All those nuances of human behavior would actually, I don't know if they would be there if we had a male as the main character. So not only we had the best actor for the job, we also had a better story at the end.
And just out of curiosity, did that change the script at all, or was it really just in...
No changes at all.
That's great. More questions? Yes, sir. What was the product they were manufacturing?
I still have no idea. We shot there for 3 days, and I always ask them, so what exactly you guys make here? And they always give me some long-winded answer about parts, but I don't know what they are for. I don't know who they sell it to. I think it's custom. I think if you need a part for any sort of machinery, you can take the specifications and they'll build it for you, but I could be wrong.
Were the people working there all actors, or were they some of them actual employees of the place?
Yeah, so we really lucked out. Originally, the screenplay was about a garment contractor, like a modern sweatshop, but we didn't find any garment contractors who were willing to let us shoot in their premises, because every time we showed up with a camera, they shut the door on our faces. And then one day we were driving through downtown Santa Ana, which is one of LA's suburbs, and we stopped at this business to ask for information. We just like, do you guys know any garment contractors around here? But we walked in and we saw that place, and we just like, could we shoot here? And the guy, instead of charging us for the place, he said that we could make. He's the coach of his kids' soccer team, so he said that if you guys can make a video for a website, we'll call it. We call that payment, and we were like, done, deal. And then so we really lucked out with them. And then to make things even better, they were all the guys that you saw actually as background talent working the machine. They were the workers there. We asked them, would you guys be willing to be on camera for us? A couple of them got really shy. Some like went running out of the building, but 3 of them were super game. They brought their families to watch, and it kind of became this whole. And this movie is actually, they haven't seen this movie yet. It's been done for over a year at this point, but they haven't seen it because we've been waiting for the LA premiere, which takes place this upcoming Saturday. So we all went there and gave them tickets. So hopefully they all come and bring their families to watch themselves on screen for the first time.
That's great. More questions? Yes, way in the back there.
Yes. It was, oh, sorry, you want to repeat the question?
So if you couldn't hear the question, he was asking why the workers were not wearing hearing protection while operating the machinery, but the inspector was.
Yeah, so the factory is not actually that loud, but for creative reasons, we wanted to create an environment that was sort of oppressive, that it sounded dangerous. And I thought this was an opportunity to show them all not wearing any protection, but as soon as the inspector shows up, they put it on. That was the idea.
One more question. Do we have a good question out there? Just make everybody nervous now. Looking.
Why don't you ask the last question?
You're gonna make me do it. You guys. So, tell us, what was the most rewarding aspect of shooting this film for you?
Well, thanks for the hard question to wrap things up, Ken. Realistically, I would say the logistics were very challenging for us. This was part of, I'm a film student in LA, and this was our first year project. And we bid a lot more than we could chew. Realistically, we only had 3 days to shoot, and safety was a big concern for obvious reasons. So just the fact that nobody got hurt, and we got everything that we needed, that was great. Oh, I know it was. At the end, when she goes to get Theo back from the bus station, we did it a couple times, because we couldn't afford to get a bus to come and park, but on the 4th try, a bus actually came. and we had the fastest reset I've ever seen on a movie set. Everybody was downtown, we were back inside the factory, and someone just started screaming, bus, 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 bus. We all hurried back outside. The actors, they didn't know if they had the props, they didn't know what was going on. I just said action, and then we got it. and then bus stop right on time. And then as it was driving away, I was like, movie magic.
Daniel Drummond.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for coming and watching. I appreciate it.